Hello, fourth graders. This is Miss Ledford bringing you the lesson for August the 31st, or the week of August 31st. The name of this lesson is called Action Figures, and in art, the figure is any kind of drawing or art of the human body. So that when I say action figure, that's what I mean. It's going to be a pose of a figure that is in some kind of motion or action. Like if you're into sports, what kind of pose would you see the body in if you were throwing the football, or if you were in a dance, what kind of a pose you would be. So think about a pose that would be in some kind of a action movement that you like, or that you would want to put in your artwork. So it's going to be, the action figure is going to be not going to have a whole lot of detail. It's going to be a silhouette, which a silhouette is like a shadow. So when you think of something with a light behind it, you just see the shadow of the form that is in front of it. So you don't have to do a whole lot of details on that. And a silhouette, it is going to be like a shadow, and the shadow is usually dark or black. I'm going to be using pencil, black crayon, and at the end I'm going to do watercolor. And I know a lot of you might not have watercolor, but use whatever supplies you have. I do know that the Dollar Tree does have acrylic paint, pretty good size tube of acrylic paint, of course, for $1. So if you get a chance to get up there, try to maybe get you some paint there. That's the cheapest that I have found it. I've not seen any watercolor up there. But anyway, you can add color to this art assignment with whatever supplies you have. I'm going to use watercolor. But anyway, the action pose that I'm going to do is going to be a skateboarder, and it's going to be like he's just pushed off to get his skateboard in motion. So that's the action pose that I'm going to do. And I start out my action pose in pencil first. That way, if I mess up, I can erase it. And also, we're going to start out our action figure with a stick person. So I know a lot of people are like, well, I can't draw a stick person. Well, if you can draw straight lines, you can, or write your name, you can draw a stick person. So I'm going to start out with my figure about as big as my hand. Now, if you wanted to do 2 action figures, maybe doing karate or something, you could do that. But try to keep them about as big as your hand. I know my hand is a little bit bigger than yours, most likely. So I'm going to have it about this size right here in the center. So I'll start out with the head, which is, of course, the circle, the neck, the spine. Coming out of the spine would be your shoulders, and then on out would be your arms. So my action figure is going to have one arm pointing ahead and one arm with the elbow bent down behind. I'm not going to worry about the hands right yet, but I'll show you how to do that. So out of the spine, you have the hips and the thigh, the knee, and the ankle and the foot. So I'm going to put my skateboard, sketch it in right here below the foot. We got the thigh, the knee, and the foot. He's just pushed off on his skateboard. So there's my stick person. Pretty simple there. Straight lines. You just got to remember to include the neck. You don't want the arms to come out of the neck. A lot of kids might put it coming out of the neck, but let's try to put that spine and that neck down here. So this would be like the shoulders. So I've got my action figure drawn in. I'm going to grab my black crayon because it's a silhouette. And if you want to put, some kind of design in the head, that's fine, or the face, you can, or you can color it in solid since it is a shadow. I'm going to put some spiky hair on my skateboarder. So you can do a little bit of detail on it, not much. You also, whatever your action pose is that you choose, you can have one object to go with it, which my one object, of course, is going to be my skateboard. But like if you are doing a cheerleader and you want to put the cheerleading skirt and pom-poms in their hand, I'll let you go with that too. So now I've got to make my stick person a little bit bigger put some muscles on his body, so we'll fatten him up a little bit. The hand, I just do like a mitten. Do an oval and then a little straight line for a thumb. I don't worry about trying to get all the fingers, especially with a thick black crayon. It's kind of hard to get the fingers in proportion. So here is the hand and the thumb. So it looks like mittens again. So he's already getting a little bit bigger. Now this is the torso. This is lungs, stomach, all that stuff is in your torso. So it's got to be obviously a whole lot wider than the neck. And you don't just come down here into a point where your thighs come together. You want to kind of flare out a little bit, because that's how the human figure is. You just got to think about it. So here's the thighs. Make them a little bit thicker. See, he's not quite a stick man anymore. Here's the calf. Here's the foot. Now if you had a football player or a baseball player that wears cleats, you might want to put some cleats on the feet so it'll look a little bit more realistic. That's fine. Also, if you're doing a basketball player, whenever we get ready to put the lines in the background, you might want to make it look like the lines on the floor on the basketball court, because we'll talk about that in just a minute. Because right now he's just kind of plain. We want to put something around the figure that goes along with the body, which is we look at the lines in the body. We've got some horizontal lines and some diagonal lines in the body, so we want to repeat those lines that you might see in the body, or it could be related to whatever action pose you've got. So I'm just going to I am going to put a sidewalk down here at the bottom, because we do have the horizontal line here. So here will be the sidewalk he's on. So that does repeat that, and we got some diagonals here. It's repeated here. But I got this diagonal here. I could do straight lines behind him to make him look like he's moving, but I think I'm going to make it a little abstract and just put some diagonal lines in the background. And we're doing that in the black crayon too. I hope you guys have black crayons, but if you don't, marker's fine, or just straight pencil. That's fine. So here's my action pose, and I have got repeated some of the lines that are in the body and in the skateboard. And in art, one of the principles of art is repetition. So that's where you see things that are repeated. Then you want to guide your eyes across the artwork, and repetition does that. So I've got my action figure all colored in, heavy and dark with the black crayon. And if you have black crayon, now you know since kindergarten we know that if we do watercolor and paint right on top of the wax crayons, it creates a really cool texture, and the wax resists the watercolor. So if you've got watercolor, and I hope you guys do, if not, when we come back to school, we will have some watercolor. So I'm going to get my watercolor set, choose a color that you like. I'm just going to do one color. I'm just going to do blue, but whatever colors you want to do in the background are fine. If you have watercolor, you know you need a soft, full brush that holds lots of water, because you know watercolor needs lots of water, because it doesn't work good. And we be easy. Whenever we are painting, we want to be easy. Not heavy, and not keep painting the same spot, over and over. So you can paint right on top of the figure, which see how that cool texture that it makes in the body? That's pretty neat. So once it turns the color that you want to paint it, don't paint over it anymore, because you know it's paper and it can probably eat a hole in it. I know you guys might not have anything but notebook paper, and it's even more thin than my art paper at school. So here is a finished version of what I'm trying to do with my action figure. And that's your lesson for week of August 31st. I hope you have fun with it. Be creative. Send me a picture of it on Dojo, and you guys have a good day.